Well, good morning and welcome to CityLine. It's great to be in your living room. We are live every Thursday morning, and this morning, of course, is the 7th of February. This show is dedicated to the City of Tacoma's commissions, boards, and committees. We have 28 of them that make up groups that advise and make recommendations to our city council and staff. So we're going to find out from 4 of them what motivates these people to give back to this community. And you hear me say all the time in our closing when I say go out there, be a part of the tapestry and pay it forward. Well, this is your chance to find out information about these committees and how you actually go out there and make a difference. So please join me in welcoming 3 individuals that are here to represent the Civil Service Board, and we're going to find out what they do and why they do it. Wendy Hobson, you are the Civil Service Board Coordinator. Welcome, my dear. Good to have you here on CityLine, and you brought with you 2 fabulous, I'm going to say team members, because they are. Beckie Summers, you are the chair of the Civil Service Board. Welcome, my dear.
Thank you.
And with you is Amy Heller. You are also on the Civil Service Board. Welcome to all 3 of you. So let's get into it. So Wendy, tell us if somebody has not heard of the Civil Service Board and is not like me and I watch it on TV. I love it. I'm a big,
Even before we're televised.
Oh, when you were at one point, and
Yes.
I loved it.
Thank you.
Because it was so great. But so Wendy, what is the Civil Service Board?
The civil service system provides civil service protections for most of the city employees in Tacoma.
Okay. And how many employees does the city have?
3,368
Good grief. And growing probably.
every day.
Because I'm also always on the city employment website seeing who's doing what and who's moving around. So how many members are there on this board for those 3,000 people?
There are 5 civil service board members. 3 are elected by the citizens of Tacoma. 2, one is appointed by city management, and 1 is elected by city employees. And they each serve a 4-year term.
Nice. Very, very nice. So, Beckie, you are the chair of the Civil Service Board. First off, what do you do during the day in your day job?
Actually, I call myself a consultant, but that basically means that whenever the people need help and however they need it, such as my husband, who is a representative, I run his campaign when he needs it. Or I take on other people. I take my friends shopping. So I'm semi-retired. I like you're retired, but I'm not really. And I have 11 grandchildren, so I get to spend my time enjoying my grandbabies.
Beckie, you just could have said that right there, and all of us would have gone, whoa, that is incredible.
It's lovely. I have 2 in Seattle and 3 in Port Orchard now, and many of them very local. Still in Tacoma.
Congratulations. Okay, so that's a pretty high bar because you've got a phenomenal family that you want to be involved with. So based upon that, what inspired you to get involved with this?
Well, again, it comes back to who I knew and when I knew them. Back when there was a women's department, women's right department, Judy Fortier. Judy Fortier was somebody who I looked up to, I admired. I, at that time, was a PTA president, and I asked her to come and help one of my fellow colleagues to get a loan because she was being told because she was a woman, she couldn't get one.
Ah, yes.
And so Judy gave me a piece of paper and said, fill this out, and the next thing I knew, I was on the Human Rights Commission. And with that, I was on the Affirmative Action Committee. And we kept talking about this terrible board that kept getting in the way of all of our progress. And we needed to do something to stop that. And so Judy Fortier knew that Pauline Yamashita was going to be stepping down and encouraged me to apply for that.
And here we are.
And the next thing I know, served a total of 14 years because I'm back now as a city elected
Yes.
rep.
You are. Congratulations. All right, Amy. So you serve in a volunteer capacity, which is very impressive. What was your motivation for being on this board?
Well, back when I was younger, I worked at Western State Hospital, and I was a shop steward. And there was an article in the paper about how so many of our local lower level positions either went unfilled or had only one person running. And they gave a list of positions that met these requirements and what they did. And I read it and said, you know, that's something I can do. I think it's important to have a place for employees to come and have a neutral person hear their issues and not have to go straight to court. And so I saw great value in that and thought I can do that. And so I threw my hat in the ring, went down the last day of filing and threw in.
And how many years ago was that?
22 plus.
Oh, wow. Okay. This couch, these members get a huge boom stamp of dedication. That is incredible because you must have heard so many requests and presentations and challenges, and that has its own weight to be on that committee. It could easily burn you out, but here all of you are sitting here smiling and loving what you do.
Well,
Amy,
now, I talked her into coming back.
Okay, yeah, just a second here. So, Amy, what qualifications would you say make for a good board member?
Having an open mind, understanding workplace principles, studying and knowing the civil service rules and the city personnel rules.
Okay, all right. Anything else?
Being a good listener.
There you go. I would imagine that's going to be key. Beckie, what would you add to that?
I would add that you have to continue to be enthusiastic about change because nothing is stagnant in the city of Tacoma. And with each new council, we have a new set of opportunities. And we're very lucky with the council that we have currently because they understand and respect the employment picture that the city has. So I've worked under a really great administration and some that was a little more challenging.
Yeah.
But we are just in good times. And again, things change. It used to be called personnel. It's now human resources.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference. Our language makes a huge difference in how we deal with our workers, our employees, and just being open to change is vital.
Boy, that is huge. I think that's something that we as just individuals here on this planet have to work on, let alone something that we have to carry into our day jobs and a job that we also do after hours, because change is hard. It's not easy, and especially when you're talking about a workforce that makes up just a plethora of different ingredients that cause it to change all the time, be it JBLM, be it a university, be it return to workers. There's just a lot of ingredients in that mix, isn't there? Yeah. Okay, so Beckie, what is the board chartered to do?
We have...
Uh-oh, she's putting on her glasses.
I am, because I want to make sure that I include all of this. And this is section 6.12. And our duties are to advise the council and administrative officials on all matters relating to the Civil Service Board and personnel administration in the city of Tacoma. To investigate any and all matters relating to conditions of employment in the service of the city, either in response to an employee complaint or on our own initiative. To investigate and pass upon the claim of any person whose name appears on an eligible list that has been deprived of a position to which he is entitled, he or she, again, this is the original language.
Yeah.
It has changed. And to hear appeals from any action suspending for more than 30 days, reduce in rank of pay and so on.
Whew. Boy, that needs to be emblazoned across your heart and maybe a tattoo on your wrist. So every time you sit down, you really understand what you're charged with. So in these last 3 minutes, Becky, and then I have a couple questions for Amy. If our viewers were interested, or they are interested in serving on this board, how do they go about doing that?
It's actually you file for the office.
Okay.
And we have lovely, lovely board members, but many of them have served for quite some time, and I beg them to come back each and every time. Dan Sexton is one of those. But you simply go in and run for the office. For me, it was not that difficult. I beat my first and only opponent with very little resources, but just being willing to run.
Okay.
It's a little bit difficult and a little bit intimidating. There are lots of ways to make that happen. There are lots of valuable people in the community that will help you along.
Okay. So Amy, what do you see as this board's future? And then why do you think it's relevant?
Well, it continues to be a sounding board for the problems or issues that people have.
Both problems and issues. Yeah.
They could, we hear everything from disciplinary complaint, I wasn't appropriately disciplined, to I think that the test is unfair, a whole variety of issues. And if it weren't for the board, the only alternative most employees would have would be to go before the court system. So I think we do a great service to the city and the taxpayers. We're a voluntary board, so we aren't paid. We're donating our time. And if you had to go before the court for all of these issues, that would really run up huge costs and cost a lot of tax dollars.
And clog up the system. Absolutely. Yeah. So you guys are a lovely, I guess I would say, filter, and you also set the bar so high. Thank you, all three of you, for being here today, and for the team members that you also represent that we couldn't fit on the couch. And I just thank you so much for your dedication, for your knowledge, for your time, and for the copious amounts of wisdom that you bring to our city. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for having us.
My pleasure. When we come back, after just a little bit of musical chairs, we'll have the Planning Commission here. We're going to find out what they do. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.